All right, so today we're diving into something that might sound kind of technical at first,
Yeah,
but trust me, this is way more interesting than you think. We're
absolutely.
talking managed file transfer or MFT.
That's right.
And honestly, I had no idea how much this impacts like our everyday digital lives
hmm
before we started researching for this deep dive.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Businesses are dealing with mountains of sensitive data all the
So,
time.
oh, for sure, yeah.
They've got to send it back and forth constantly.
Right.
Financial stuff, medical records.
Yeah, all the important stuff.
Exactly. So the big question is,
How do they keep it all safe?
that's it. How do they make sure it's secure, it gets where it needs to go,
It's got to be reliable.
reliable, and then on top of that,
Oh, right, all those regulations.
exactly, all those
It's
regulations.
a lot to juggle.
Yeah, you can't just hit send and hope for the best.
Nope, not anymore.
That's where managed file transfer comes in.
MFT for short, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The article we dug into defines it as it's a specialized tech solution designed to provide secure and automated file transfers.
Okay, so it's like a high security delivery service.
Yeah,
But for data,
that's a great way to put it.
with like a built-in compliance officer maybe?
Yeah.
There's so many rules.
And it's way more sophisticated than just,
Attaching something to an email
yes.
or using FTP,
Right, because basic
it's
FTP,
just asking for trouble.
well, your passwords are often just sent in plain text.
Oh, wow.
Anyone snooping around can see that.
So that's not good.
Not good at all. But MFT, on the other hand, uses encryption to scramble that information.
Okay, so it's like sending a secret code
Exactly.
that only the right person can unlock.
That's the idea.
Makes sense.
And I bet most people don't even realize this is all happening.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Every time they shop online or check their bank balance,
I mean, it just works.
it does. And the fact that it's so seamless is a testament to how effective MFT really is.
Okay, but it's not just a fancy name for the same old methods, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's a whole different approach.
So what are the big differences then?
Why are companies ditching the old ways and going with MFT?
Spill the tea.
Okay, well, one of the biggest advantages is security.
Makes sense.
MFT uses military-grade encryption to protect the data when it's moving.
Okay.
And even when it's just stored somewhere.
Wow.
It's not just encryption, though. It's also about controlling who has access.
Right.
Like a company's security badges, yeah.
Okay.
Role-based access controls make sure that only the right people can see certain files.
This multiple layers of security.
Exactly.
Like a bank vault
Yeah.
with a security guard, a fingerprint scanner.
Exactly. You wouldn't want just anyone to be able to grab that sensitive data.
No way.
But security isn't the only benefit.
Right. The article also mentioned automation,
Yes,
and that's kind of a game changer.
it is.
But what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, let's say a company needs to send out a ton of invoices every month. Instead of having someone manually attach each file, send each one individually.
Right.
MFT can automate that whole process.
So no more accidental reply all to the wrong person.
Exactly.
Phew.
But it's not just about those facepalm moments. Automation also reduces human error.
Yeah, that's huge when you're dealing with, financial information.
Exactly. Plus, it frees up employees to focus on more important things.
So they can actually analyze those invoices instead of just sending them out.
Exactly.
Mm.
And speaking of avoiding mistakes,
This brings us to compliance, right?
yes,
All those regulations.
all those regulations, GDPR, APAA, you name it.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It is. And MFT helps companies navigate that whole mess.
Okay, how so?
Well, it's not just about protecting data. It's about proving you're doing it right,
Right.
providing those audit trails that regulators love.
That's like a detailed logbook
Exactly.
for all your files.
It shows who accessed what, when, and what they did.
So it's like a built-in compliance officer for your file transfers.
Yeah.
Making sure everything is documented.
All nice and squeaky clean.
That's got to be a huge relief for businesses.
Especially in industries like healthcare and finance.
Yeah, where the stakes are so high.
Stakes are very high.
Okay, so we've got security, we've got automation, we've got compliance.
We do.
Anything else that makes MFT stand out?
Well, it also offers real-time monitoring and visibility.
Hold on, I need a visual here.
Yay.
Are we talking like dashboards with flashing lights and sirens if something goes wrong?
Haha, not quite that dramatic.
Okay.
But MFT platforms do have dashboards and reporting tools
Okay.
that give businesses a clear view of what's going on with their file transfers.
Got it.
They can see the status of each transfer, check detailed logs.
This is like having a bird's eye view of your data in flight.
Yeah,
And you can spot potential problems before they cause any turbulence.
exactly.
That's awesome.
This level of visibility is essential for keeping things running smoothly and making sure those important files get where they need to go.
Securely and on time.
Securely and on time.
Okay, I'm impressed.
Good.
So we've got security, automation, compliance, and demonitoring.
It's a lot.
What else?
Well, one more big one is scalability.
Okay.
No matter how big or small your company is, MFT can adapt.
It's like a flexible container
Yeah.
that grows with your business.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see why MFT is becoming so popular.
It really does tick all the boxes,
It does.
especially for businesses in today's data-driven world.
Yeah, it's essential.
And it's not just about meeting today's needs. MFT is also evolving to tackle tomorrow's challenge.
Oh, a tree.
That's where things get even more interesting.
Ooh, cliffhanger alert.
We'll dive into that in part 2.
I can't wait. We'll be right back with more of our deep dive into the world of MFT after a quick break.
So, welcome back to the deep dive.
Okay, so before we get too deep into the future of MFT, I think it's important to understand, why is secure file transfer such a big deal now?
You're right. It's a good question.
Was this always a problem?
It's a bit of both, actually.
Okay.
The need to transfer files securely, that's not new.
Right.
But the sheer volume of data and how sensitive it is,
Yeah, it's exploding.
it's just skyrocketed in recent years. Think about cloud computing, mobile devices, the Internet of Things,
It's data coming from everywhere.
everywhere. And it's not just cat videos and memes anymore.
Right, it's serious stuff.
Personal info, financial records, intellectual property.
Yeah, things you don't want just floating around.
Exactly. And with all that comes a heightened awareness of data security and privacy.
People are starting to realize maybe those old methods aren't good enough.
Businesses are definitely realizing that. They can't just wing it anymore.
So were those older methods always insecure?
Or was security just not as big of a deal back then?
Well, technology changes.
What was considered secure 20 years ago?
Might be a joke today.
Pretty much, the internet was a much smaller, less hostile place back then.
So as it grew, the threats grew too.
Exactly. It's kind of like,
Like how we used to leave our doors unlocked.
ah,
But now everyone has security systems and cameras.
the world has changed.
And so has our approach to security.
Exactly. And it's not just about keeping up with the bad guys.
Right, there are also those regulations.
Oh, yeah. Those are always changing.
The GDPR, the HIPAA.
The whole compliance landscape is constantly shifting.
So businesses need systems that can adapt.
And keep them on the right side of the law.
And it sounds like MFT is a key part of that.
Absolutely. It's not just about protecting data.
It's about proving you're doing it right,
Providing those audit trails and documentation.
that regulators love.
You do.
Okay, so we've established that MFT is essential in today's world.
It is.
But the article also mentioned it goes beyond those traditional methods.
Like FTP and email attachments.
Right, so can you break down the key differences for us?
Sure, those traditional methods were developed in a different era.
When security wasn't as much of a concern.
Right, they just don't have the same safeguards that MFT offers.
So were they inherently flawed from the beginning?
Or did they just become obsolete as technology advanced?
It's more about evolving needs.
They served their purpose, but they weren't designed with the same level of security in mind.
Okay, so for example.
Email attachments are pretty easy to intercept or tamper with.
Oh, right.
And basic FTP often transmits data in plain text.
Which means
Anyone listening in can see it.
that's kind of scary to think about.
It is, and that's why MFT was developed.
To address those vulnerabilities.
And provide a much more secure way to exchange information.
It's like MFT is a fortress for your data.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And those older methods are like a flimsy fence.
A good way to put it.
And we talked about automation being a big part of what makes MFT so secure.
Right.
Can you give us some concrete examples of how that works in practice?
Absolutely. Let's say a hospital needs to share patient records with another facility.
Okay.
Instead of relying on manual processes, which can be prone to errors.
Yeah, someone could accidentally send the wrong file.
Exactly. They can use MFT to automate the whole thing.
Okay.
The system will automatically encrypt those records,
Secure them.
send them to the authorized recipient,
Only the right person.
and even track the delivery status.
Wow, so it's not just about security.
Right.
It's also about efficiency and peace of mind.
Knowing that those files are going exactly where they need to go.
No human hiccups along the way.
Exactly. And this is just one example.
Right.
MFT can be used to automate all kinds of file transfers.
From sending financial reports to backing up critical data?
All of that.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Good.
MFT is clearly a game changer for businesses in today's world.
No doubt about it.
But let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about how all of this works.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts.
What are the different types of MFT solutions available?
Well, there are two main types. On-premises and cloud-based.
Okay, so on-premises is like
That's where the solution is installed and managed locally.
within a company's own data center.
Exactly. It offers a lot of control.
Yeah.
It can be more complex and expensive to set up.
So it's like having your own private MFT fortress,
Haha. I like that.
but you're also responsible for maintaining it.
You're the king or queen of that fortress.
Exactly.
Now, cloud-based solutions are different.
Those are hosted by a third-party provider.
Right. They're usually more affordable and easier to deploy.
But you're trusting your data to another company.
That's the trade-off.
So it's like renting space in someone else's fortress.
Yeah, they handle the upkeep.
But you have less control over the environment.
Exactly.
So how do businesses decide which type is right for them?
Is it just about budget? Or are there other factors to consider?
Budget is definitely part of it.
Right.
But security requirements, compliance needs, technical expertise, those all come into play too.
Okay, so for example, a big financial institution with tons of regulations might choose an on-premises solution.
To have more control over their data.
Exactly. But a smaller business with limited IT resources,
Might go with a cloud-based solution.
because it's more manageable and cost-effective.
So there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Nope. Each business has to weigh the pros and cons.
And choose what works best for them.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that MFT is constantly evolving.
Right, always changing.
New features and capabilities are always popping up.
So businesses need to stay informed.
And adapt their strategies.
This is all really insightful. We've covered a lot of ground, from the why to the how of MFT.
We have.
But before we wrap up this part,
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to our listeners.
Okay.
Why should they care about all of this?
How does MFT actually impact their everyday lives?
Great question.
Well, most people probably aren't aware of it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
But MFT is working behind the scenes every day to protect their sensitive information. Whether it's online banking, e-commerce, or healthcare data sharing,
All stuff we use all the time.
MFT is making sure those interactions are secure and reliable.
So it's silently making our digital lives safer.
Like a guardian we never knew we had.
I love that.
And as the world becomes even more digital,
The role of MFT is only going to become more important.
absolutely, it's the foundation of trust in our digital interactions.
Well said.
Thank you.
Okay, I am officially a fan of MFT now.
Aha, good.
But we've been talking about this evolution of MFT,
Right.
and I'm dying to know more.
Well, that's what we'll be diving into in the final part of this deep dive.
Oh, exciting.
We'll explore some of the cutting-edge developments that are shaping the future of secure data exchange.
Can't wait. We'll be right back with the final part of our deep dive after a quick break. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been spending these last two parts really uncovering the world of managed file transfer.
It's quite a world.
It is, yeah. We talked about like the security benefits, how it keeps businesses compliant.
All the important stuff.
Yeah, but we left off with a bit of a cliffhanger.
The future of MFT.
Exactly. What's next for this? I mean, it's becoming a super crucial technology.
It really is.
So what's on the horizon? What's changing?
Well, that's where things get really exciting. MFT isn't just sitting still, it's constantly evolving.
Keeping up with the times.
To keep up with all the challenges of data security and privacy in our digital world.
So what are some of the big trends? Are we just talking faster speeds?
Speed is always a factor, but there are some even bigger shifts happening.
Okay, like what?
One of the major ones is the rise of cloud-based MFT solutions.
Right, because more and more businesses are moving their operations to the cloud.
Exactly. So it makes sense to have their file transfer capabilities there too.
Makes sense, but what about security?
That's a valid concern.
You're putting something as sensitive as file transfer in the hands of another company.
You are, and businesses need to think about that carefully.
So choose wisely.
But reputable cloud-based MFT providers, they take security extremely seriously.
Okay, that's good to know.
They invest a lot in robust security measures, comply with strict industry standards.
So your data is protected.
That's the goal.
It's not just about convenience then.
It's about trusting the provider with your most sensitive information.
Okay, so besides the cloud, what other innovations are shaping the future of MFT?
Well, one of the most interesting developments is AI, artificial intelligence.
AI, I mean, it seems like AI is everywhere these days.
It really is.
But I never would have thought it would be involved in file transfer. How does that even work?
Well, AI and machine learning algorithms can analyze past file transfer patterns
Okay.
to predict future needs.
So give me an example.
Let's say you have a financial firm during tax season.
Super busy.
Their MFT system, if it's powered by AI, could automatically scale up resources to handle the increased workload
So it's anticipating needs.
and proactively adjusting to ensure things run smoothly, even during those peak times.
That's pretty impressive.
And that's not all.
There's more.
AI can also analyze those transfer logs and identify anything unusual that could be a security breach.
So it's like an intelligent security guard.
Always watching for suspicious activity.
I like it.
AI is definitely making MFT smarter and more secure.
So AI, anything else changing the game for MFT?
Definitely. Blockchain technology.
Blockchain. I thought that was for cryptocurrency.
It is, but it has applications beyond that.
Okay, so how does it apply to MFT?
Well, think of it this way. Blockchain creates an unchangeable record of transactions,
Okay.
which makes it really hard for data to be tampered with or corrupted.
It's like a super secure chain of custody for your files.
Exactly. Even if someone tried to mess with a file during transfer, the blockchain would show that.
That's incredible. What kind of impact did that have on industries that really rely on secure file transfer?
I mean, it could be huge for healthcare, finance, government.
Where trust and data integrity are everything.
Exactly. Imagine being able to prove without a doubt that a file hasn't been tampered with.
Since it left its source?
That level of assurance is unprecedented.
It sounds like blockchain could bring a whole new level of transparency to file transfer.
And accountability.
So much potential.
Exciting stuff.
But with all these advancements, does that mean traditional MFT solutions are on their way out?
Not necessarily. They still have their place.
Especially for businesses with very specific security or compliance needs.
That might not be met by those cloud-based or AI-powered solutions.
So it's not about replacing old with new.
It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Knowing the strengths and limitations of each approach.
And finding the best fit for your needs.
This has been a truly eye-opening journey into the world of managed file transfer.
I'm glad you found it informative.
I really did. We started with the basics and ended up exploring the cutting edge.
It's quite a journey.
It is. And it's clear that MFT is not some niche technology anymore.
It's essential.
It's a fundamental part of our digital infrastructure.
Couldn't agree more. As we create and share more data than ever.
The role of MFT will only become more vital.
It's like the unsung hero of the digital age, silently protecting our information.
And enabling businesses to operate smoothly and securely.
Exactly.
Well said. A huge thank you to you, our expert, for guiding us through this complex topic.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of managed file transfer.
We hope you learned something new.
We hope you have a better understanding of this vital technology and its impact on our increasingly digital world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.